My beloved child, come closer and listen with the deepest part of your being. For in this very hour, I am unveiling before you a profound truth that you must hold with your whole heart. There are moments in a spiritual life when the atmosphere thickens, when silence becomes solemn, and when your soul senses an invisible hand resting upon your shoulder as a reminder that something sacred is taking place in a realm the natural eye cannot see. This is one of those moments. I call you not to trouble you or stir fear within you, but to place into your hands an understanding that few can grasp. For you belong to a lineage marked by light long before the foundations of the world were set. You were called out of darkness to step into glory, and that very calling makes you someone heaven pays special attention to. You are not a wandering soul lost in the noise of the world. You are one who has been set apart, whose name is inscribed in the pages, kept in heavenly places untouched by time. Hear clearly what I am about to say. In this moment, in realms you cannot see with physical eyes, a great movement is taking place. It is no coincidence that in these recent days your heart feels as though something is shifting, as if your soul is standing before a vast door waiting to open. This is not a vague emotion, it is the awakening of heaven within those whose names have been called in my mysterious design. You are summoned out of the ordinary to stand in the position I crafted specifically for you, the position of one who carries holy fire, who holds whispers from the heights, who is entrusted with the mission of bringing light to places swallowed in confusion and disorientation. Darkness recognizes this. It does not remain still when a soul rises with a purpose breathed into them by the Creator Himself. Imagine a great expanse of sky where rivers of light flow without ceasing, where hosts of angels stand ready to execute every command issued from the throne of glory. The movement there is not noisy, yet strong enough to stir the soul of anyone spiritually attuned. In that realm, a preparation is taking place, not a preparation for defeat or fear, but for the victory of those placed in the ranks of the strongest. Know this when I call you near. I do not call out of impulse. Every invitation that comes from me carries purpose, and none of them are meaningless. I am bringing you into a season where your soul must be strengthened, trained, and built up with things no human intellect can produce. This is a season of awakening in light, not awakening in fear. You have thought that the inner tensions you've been feeling lately were nothing more than emotional fluctuations, but in truth, they are signals from above, telling you that you are nearing the place where my light will shine more brightly than ever. Those who are chosen rarely recognize their own appointed moment, for they are too accustomed to walking humbly and quietly. But I want you to understand that you are no longer in the previous season. You have matured through days that felt meaningless, survived nights no one knew about, and all of those became the foundation enabling you to receive greater revelations. Not a single tear of yours from the past was wasted. I used them like drops of water to nourish the soil of your spirit so that now it can grow deeper roots. Stand stronger and prepare for a season of fruitfulness. Child, no one enters my training and remains as fragile as before. You may look back at times when you felt too small, too weak, too easily wounded. But those very days softened your soul so I could reshape it according to my design. You were not abandoned, not forgotten, not pushed outside the circle of my care. Every sigh, every fear, every question of your heart has been placed before me like precious tears. I saw you in the dark, and I saw you when you stood in the light. You have never slipped from my sight, even when you felt lost in the night or buried under the weight of life. And now I call you by your name, because you are about to enter a season that requires your heart to be prepared, not with trembling, but with firmness, not with anxiety, but with absolute trust, not by your own strength, but by the sacred power I am placing in your hands. In the days ahead, you will feel subtle movements in your spirit, whispers soft as breath, reminders that brush against your soul like wind, impressions you cannot explain with logic. Do not be afraid. These are signs that I am drawing you deeper into my wisdom. When you feel yourself being pulled toward a quieter, deeper, closer place, that is the moment I am opening your spiritual ears to hear my voice without distraction. My child, know that holy silence is not absence. It is the place where I speak the greatest words. Many seek me in what is loud and dramatic, but I often choose to whisper to those who make room for peace. You are one of them. I do not need to shake mountains to prove my nearness. I need only to touch your heart softly, and your soul knows instantly. In the moments you grow still before me, you will sense the first rays of the new journey I have prepared. I want you to enter that journey not with hesitation, but with steadiness. For from this moment on, you no longer walk by your own effort. You walk by my word. This is only the beginning. As I draw you into this revelation, I am not showing you darkness. I am revealing the light I am raising within you. Stand firm. Keep your mind anchored, and open your heart wide to receive what I will continue to unveil. The journey you are about to enter is not one of fear, but one of glory, strength, and maturity, things I have desired for you since the beginning of time. My beloved child, as you stand before the door of a new season, the most important thing is not what your natural eyes see, but what you discern from the invisible movements stirring in your spirit. There are occurrences the world sees as coincidence, but in the realm of light, every step is arranged by a hand wiser than time and greater than space. I want you to understand this deeply, for you are about to walk into a journey where every beat of your heart will align with a plan far greater than anything you can imagine. You are not walking alone. You are following the footsteps of the one who has seen the entire span of your life from before you were formed in your mother's womb. I saw the day you cried your first cry, and I also saw the day your heart began to hunger for what is spiritual rather than what the human eye can grasp. These stirrings within you are not random. They are the soul's response to the call of the one who birthed you. Child, to remain firm in the days ahead, you must first understand this: the unseen realm is never still. It is not limited by the silence of night or the noise of day. It moves continuously like underground waters you cannot see but whose presence you recognize through subtle signs. Likewise, there are times you feel restless without knowing why. Times you sense an invisible pull into deeper stillness. Times your heart is stirred by something wordless. These are not psychological coincidences. They are the vibrations of your soul responding to waves from the realm of light where I am preparing you for what is coming. Remember, you are not the only one sensing this movement. Those who belong to me, those being drawn into deeper training, are experiencing similar signs. Across the earth, countless souls are awakening at the same moment, like an army being summoned back to its posts after long silence. This is not to create fear, but to assure you that you are not alone, and that what you are experiencing is not strange. It is the spiritual resonance of those positioned in a divine plan. When I lift you up, I also lift others, so that you do not walk as one solitary figure, but as part of a spiritual company being restored in strength, discernment, and mindset. The movement in the unseen realm is not like the changes people are familiar with. It does not promise noise, nor does it take the form of thunder. It is like an invisible breath that only sensitive souls can feel. Imagine a vast forest at dawn. Before the sun lifts the veil of night to pour out its first rays, the ground has already begun to warm, the air has already changed its hue, and the dew has already started to tremble. No one sees that process. Yet it is happening powerfully and silently. In the same way, before I reveal something great, I always allow small signs to appear within your spirit. And you, with the sensitivity I have placed in your heart, are recognizing them even if you cannot yet name them clearly. A soul that is about to step into a season of maturity cannot walk unprepared. I am clothing you with new garments, the garment of discernment, the garment of peace, the garment of quiet strength, and the garment of sacred patience. Each of these layers will help you stand firm in the winds you will encounter on your journey. Do you sometimes feel as if your heart is being drawn closer to me? Are there moments when you feel an urge to cast off the things that once bound you? Have you noticed a growing thirst in yourself to live deeper, truer, purer? That is the very sign of the preparation I am working in your soul. At times you will feel as though you are standing between two worlds. On one side are things familiar, and on the other are things you do not fully understand but that carry a compelling pull of truth and new life. That feeling is not meant to confuse you. It is the sign that you are stepping out of an old shell. A bird never truly discovers how strong its wings are until it stands before open sky and must take flight. So it is with you. The trials of the former season did not destroy you. They strengthened the wings of your spirit so that you could enter the wide expanse I have prepared for you. My child, I know there are times you ask in your heart why you sense these movements more clearly than others do, why your heart is easily stirred, easily awakened, easily moved by things many people overlook. I will tell you why, because you have been chosen to become a keeper of rhythm for others. You are like a drum sounding in the midst of an army, the one who feels the first footsteps from the heights. When I stir you, it is because you are placed in the position of one who leads, who awakens, who lights the flame. Not everyone is given such a mandate, because it requires a heart that is sensitive and a soul that knows how to bow low while still standing upright in the midst of trials. I see that in you, even when you do not see it in yourself. Many times you have thought that your sensitivity is a burden, something that makes you more weary than others. But in truth, it is the gift that allows you to hear the quiet pulses of eternity. When you weep through long nights that seem meaningless, I see more than your tears. I see the deepening of your spirit. When your heart grows soft in the face of another's pain, I see more than weakness. I see the capacity to carry those who will need you in the days to come. When you feel different, when you sense you do not belong to the crowd, I see one who has been set apart for a purpose that only heaven can unveil. In this season of preparation, silence is the furnace. It is not silence that makes you lonely. It is silence that makes you profound. It clears your mind, opens your soul, and positions your heart to receive what you could never grasp in the clamor. You will learn to distinguish my voice from all other streams of thought. You will learn to stand still when everything around you shifts. You will learn to walk without trembling, even when you cannot yet see the whole path. And as you step into that silence, I do not leave you empty. I place within you new seals, the ability to recognize the direction I am leading, a peace that rises above every finite condition, and a trust that does not collapse under the winds of life. I am building a foundation that no one can tear down, for you are not entering the future through guesswork. You are entering it under my direct guidance. My child, there is a truth not many understand. Every holy preparation begins with a quiet call in the heart, continues with inner stirring, and reaches maturity when you learn to stand firm amid changes you cannot yet see with your natural eyes. In this moment, I am placing you precisely where one must stand before being entrusted with more. And to receive that, your heart must be shaped in ways no one on earth can teach you. Only I can refine you according to the pattern I drew for you from the beginning. Let your heart widen, and allow every word I speak today to sink into the deepest layers of your soul. In the coming days, you will begin to see that the moments which once seemed random are in fact meaningful. A chance encounter, a passing thought, a dream as light as a breeze, or even a brief pause in the middle of your daily work, all of these can become seeds I am sowing into you. You will sense stirrings unlike those of before, because now I am awakening within you a deeper spiritual dimension, where you do not merely hear me with the ears of your spirit, but sense me with the very breath of your being. Once you step onto that ground, nothing will be able to push you back, for your soul will have tasted the value of my presence in an entirely new way. I know there are moments when you ask why I chose you, why I placed you in this process of preparation, why out of so many I called your name. I will give you the answer your soul needs because your heart has room for me. In this world, many seek power, fame, knowledge, or quick satisfaction, but you, though you have had your seasons of wandering, have always returned to seek something deeper, something beyond what eyes can see and ears can hear. That very seeking is why my gaze rests upon you. The one whose heart longs for what is true will always be led by me into the land of revelation. For I have promised that those who seek will find. Those who knock will see doors opened. And those who thirst for me will never go away empty. You have come to me in sincerity, and so I come to you in fullness. Remember this: no soul is entrusted with something great without going through thorough preparation. Even in the stories of old, those who were chosen always had to pass through seasons that seemed quiet, but were in fact the very times when heaven was shaping them. Joseph had to live through years of being forgotten in a foreign land before he could carry the destiny of an entire nation. Moses had to dwell in the wilderness for 40 years before he could lead a multitude out of bondage. David was anointed when he was still very young, yet spent long days with his sheep and his harp before becoming the king after my own heart. These stories are not merely for you to memorize. They are mirrors through which you understand that preparation always precedes appearing in glory. No one I use escapes my form. In the same way, the days of your life that seemed ordinary were part of the preparation. The nights when you wrestled alone, the moments you tried to stand firm while carrying unseen burdens, the hours you prayed in silence, the days you felt you were not strong enough, these were all moments I used to carve into you: perseverance, steadiness, and spiritual depth that no other path could have given you. You thought they were scattered trials, but I tell you this truth: every experience of yours has fitted itself together into a strong foundation upon which I am preparing to build something new. This moment is like the slow breaking of dawn. Before the sun rises above the horizon, there is a thin, delicate instant when the sky is not yet bright but no longer engulfed in night. Everything grows still, as though creation itself holds its breath to welcome an arrival. Your soul is standing in that very instant, not as dark as your former days, yet not fully bright. This is the moment of transition, and transition always comes with sensitivity, with wakefulness, with spiritual ears attuned to the heartbeat of heaven. I want you to stand firm at this moment, without fear, without anxiety, without confusion, because when my dawn appears, you will know that every hidden preparation has been leading you to this hour. When I lead you into a new season, I give you more than wisdom or strength. I give you stability. Stability does not come from controlling everything, but from knowing that I am the one who holds your hand. As you walk into the days ahead, you will see changes not only within yourself but also in the way you see the world, the way you face challenges, the way you perceive my presence. You will recognize that things which once shook you no longer have the power to reach the core of who you are. You will realize that the fears which once used to bind you no longer carry the weight they once had. For I am making your spirit like a tree planted beside streams of living water, rooted, unshaken, unbroken by storms. You will find yourself changing quietly but surely, not with noise but with strength, not with fleeting intensity but with enduring firmness. Preparation is not a season of meaningless waiting. It is the season where heaven invests in your soul. You are being taught to distinguish my voice from the many others mingling in your life. You are being taught to draw strength from within, rather than relying solely on what is outside. You are being taught to stand not on fluctuating feelings, but on a foundation made firm by my word. Each day of this season is like a stroke of my brush on the canvas of your soul, shaping it to become clearer, deeper, and more complete. This is not mere renewal, it is transformation at the root. I am changing how you feel, how you think, how you see, and even how you love. Everything within you is being restructured to match what I am about to place into your hands. And when my appointed time arrives, when the door opens, when my voice rises within your spirit, you will not step into it with hesitation but with peace. You will not move forward with fear but with certainty that I have gone ahead of you. You will no longer ask, "Am I enough?" but will know that I am the one who makes you enough. You will understand that every former trial was not meant to wound you but to mature you. Every tear was not meant to discourage you but to soften your heart. Every moment you felt alone was not because I distanced myself from you, but so that you could learn to hear my voice in the quiet. And now all of these things are coming together to bring you to the threshold of a new season, one where I will lead you with my mighty hand and my loving heart. Stand still in my peace. You are wrapped in a light that cannot be defeated. You are in the midst of a great spiritual transformation. And I promise you this, when you step into the new season, you will not walk in as the person you once were. You will walk in as one who has been reshaped in my light. My beloved child, now that your soul has been prepared in silence, and your roots have sunk deep into the soil of discernment, I desire to take you one step further to understand the realm where peace and battle coexist in a mysterious harmony. In the places beyond natural sight, movements occur that do not always take visible form, yet they exist, swirling and colliding like powerful currents between the realms of light and darkness. And right in the midst of these unseen motions, your position, the one I have chosen and placed in light, becomes profoundly significant. For a soul that has awakened becomes a marker in the spiritual realm, a point where light and darkness meet to test the strength of faith. The silence you have passed through is not the conclusion. It is the deep breath before you step into a broader space where you will better understand the true nature of what has been unfolding around you. You are not unfamiliar with trials, but the trials of this season bear a different texture, more subtle, sharper, requiring you to stand on the foundation I have built within you. This is not a trial meant to crush you. It is a trial meant to reveal your stature in the light I placed upon you. I do not want you naive to the movements in the spiritual realm. Though you are covered by light, that light does not exempt you from challenges. It sets you apart in front of them. Darkness perceives the light in you not with eyes, but with its inherent hatred for all that belongs to me. It recognizes those who bear my mark the way one recognizes a fragrance it cannot tolerate. Therefore, When a person stands up in truth, the unseen realm trembles, and that trembling is not always gentle. In daily life, you may assume inner turmoil is simply human weakness. But in the spiritual realm, whispers are released, not from your humanity but from shadows seeking to dim the light you carry. They do not appear in grotesque forms as people imagine. They come as thoughts, as unease, as doubts without origin, as small disturbances that, if you are not awake, try to slip into your mind and root themselves. Not every fear is born of the world. Some are sown like tiny dust particles, so light you barely notice. But if welcomed, they become a thin mist that obscures my presence. In the unseen realm, your soul carries immeasurable worth. You bear a light not only for yourself, but for others who will look upon you and recognize their own path. And because of this, you become one whom darkness watches. But let your heart remain at peace, that gaze cannot touch you when you walk in my light. You must understand the nature of the battle so you are not deceived by the illusions of fear. Spiritual warfare is nothing like the world describes it. It is not fought with weapons or roaring voices, but through the struggle of thoughts, the strength of faith, and the depth of discernment. Opposing forces do not seek to destroy your body. They aim to strike at what you believe is true. When they confuse you about your worth, when they cause you to doubt my protection, when they whisper that you are on the wrong path, these are their strongest attacks. For they know that a soul still standing, yet doubting its own light, is no different from a lamp veiled by a thin cloth. I do not tell you this to instill fear, but to help you understand that wisdom is part of the armor I give you. A warrior is not strong merely because they hold a weapon. They are strong because they know who the enemy is, how he operates, and what his limits are. You too must be this way. I want you to enter this season with clear eyes and a steady heart, knowing that you are not fighting in a blind darkness, but in the light where every scheme can be exposed if you remain near me. Remember that darkness is not an absolute power. It is only strong where light is absent. Imagine a room shut for years, thick with dust and the scent of dampness. When light enters, it does not need to battle the darkness. It simply appears, and the darkness dissolves. So it is with you. When you carry my light, you do not need to fight with your own strength. You only need to stand firm, and your very presence makes the darkness tremble. This is why the adversary tries to make you forget the light you carry. It cannot touch you when you remember that you belong to me. But if you forget this, it will attempt to strike at that very forgetting. Whenever you feel yourself being pulled away from peace, whenever distractions tug at your attention, whenever exhaustion comes without any clear reason, these are not always signs of human weakness, but at times signals that you are entering a place where your discernment must sharpen. I do not expect you to discern alone. I am always near, always desiring that you sense my guidance, even in the smallest thoughts. My beloved child, the awakening I am teaching you is not an anxious vigilance, but a deep awareness born from peace. It does not burden you, it enlightens you. It does not make you live in confusion. It helps you recognize the true voice. When you walk in this awakening, you will notice that the things which once left you bewildered now become easy to discern. You will see the motives behind seemingly harmless words. You will sense which path leads to life and which detours pull you away from truth. Awakening is not fear. Awakening is the gaze of someone who knows they are loved and protected. I want you to enter this season with a new confidence, not confidence in your own strength, but confidence in my presence that surrounds you. You do not stand in the battlefield as one without shelter. You stand as one who has been given the armor of heaven. What I did in the previous season the preparation, the cleansing, the deepening was precisely so you could now recognize the battle without fear. When you understand the nature of the battle, you will stand firm even when the winds shift. You will not panic when waves of disturbance come. You will not collapse when strange thoughts arise. You will know that these are merely the faint echoes of darkness when it realizes the light within you is growing. No force in the spiritual realm can overcome one who stands in truth. When you know to whom you belong, when you stand on my solid foundation, when you refuse to release your faith, no power is strong enough to overthrow you. I never leave you alone in the battle. I am beside you both when you perceive it and when you do not. Those whom I call never face the shadows with empty hands. You are stepping into a phase in which your light will spread farther. And that very expansion is what draws the unseen realm's attention to you. But I declare this as an unshakable promise. The light I placed within you cannot be extinguished. Not by lies, not by fear, not by trials, not by uncertainty. The closer you walk with me, the brighter that light burns, and every shadow must retreat. My beloved, now that you understand the battle is not in what is visible, I want to take you deeper into the nature of this confrontation, so that you may not only discern it but walk with authority and peace in every circumstance. In the spiritual realm, opposing forces do not draw attention through noise. They work through subtlety, through the slightest tremors of emotion, through sudden thoughts that, without the illumination of truth, you might mistake as originating from yourself. But know this: darkness cannot create life. It can only imitate, distort, and magnify what already exists. Therefore, when a strange thought arises, when an unexplainable fear grips your mind, when a sudden heaviness settles upon your heart, these may be signs you are being observed from a realm you cannot see. I want you to become one who discerns, not so you may live in fear, but so you may live in freedom. Discernment helps you know which voice is mine and which is nothing but an echo from the shadows. You will no longer be swayed by vague emotions, nor deceived by words that sound beautiful yet are hollow. When you walk in discernment, your spirit becomes like one standing atop a mountain, seeing clearly the valley below, recognizing every shifting shadow, every pathway, every hidden snare. You cannot see this view from the base of the hill, but when I lift you higher, all becomes clear. Do not imagine that spiritual attack always appears in frightening forms. Most of the time, it arrives under very ordinary disguises. A careless comment from someone may discourage you more than you expect. An old memory resurfacing may cause you to doubt yourself. A fleeting thought may shake your confidence. But remember, these things only hold power when you accept them as truth. When you expose them to the light, they vanish instantly. Truth is always stronger than any illusion. Darkness never strikes at your strongest places. It always targets your most vulnerable ones. A person strong in endurance will be challenged through discouragement. One strong in love will be tested through fear of rejection. One strong in faithfulness will be tested through words that make them feel inadequate. Pay attention when something keeps repeating, draining you, troubling you, making you doubt. This is often the very place darkness is trying to attack, not to frighten you, but to help you realize you must draw nearer to me. A soul that hides itself in me becomes wise like a seasoned soldier, one who recognizes signs from afar, who knows where the traps lie and where the safe paths are. I do not create the attacks. I simply turn them into opportunities for you to become stronger, deeper, and more mature. Every time you stand firm against a strange thought, every time you refuse to give in to weariness, Every time you reject a shadowy whisper, your spiritual arm grows more resilient. I know there are moments when you feel attacked from all sides, from circumstances, from unexpected words, from mental pressure, from relationships that once seemed harmless. There are times you ask, why is all this happening at the same time? I will answer you with gentleness yet certainty, because you are in a season of transition. And any soul preparing to step into a greater light must face one final test, the test of steadfast faith. Darkness strikes hardest right before it is pushed back completely. Just as the night grows coldest right before dawn, darkness does not attack you because you are weak. It attacks because you are growing stronger. When a soul begins to shine, that light makes the hidden forces tremble. They know that once you stand in the position I have appointed, your influence will flow like living water over barren ground. They know that a person who carries truth into a place of deception can shatter chains. They know that one word from someone I have anointed can shake entire regions of darkness. That is why they attempt to strike before it happens. But they fail when you stay near me. In the unseen realm, there are not only opposing forces, there are also armies of light stationed beside you. The angels sent to you are not there to overwhelm you, but to protect, strengthen, and guide. Many times you thought you were facing things alone, yet behind you stands a host equipped with power that does not belong to this world. Every time you rise with a prayer, every time you speak truth, every time you choose light over doubt, the strength of heaven is activated in ways you cannot see, but that have a deeper impact than anything the natural eye has ever witnessed. I do not want you merely to know about the battle. I want you to understand your role in it. You are not a victim. You are not a passive sufferer. You are a bearer of light, one entrusted with the armor of truth, one capable of driving back darkness, not by your own strength, but through my presence surrounding you. When you stand in truth, you are like a flame that cannot be extinguished. Even when the wind blows hard, the flame only grows brighter. The forces of darkness do not fear your shout, they fear your steadiness. They fear your unwavering faith. They fear the peace within you, a peace nothing can destroy. Beloved, the more you understand the nature of the battle, the more you know who you belong to, and the closer you remain to me, the more powerless darkness becomes. Your awakening is not a burden, it is a weapon. Your peace is not passivity, it is strength. Your discernment is not suspicion, it is clarity. And the truth you hold is not theory, it is the foundation of spiritual power. Stand firm. You are being trained not to escape the battle, but to enter a season where the light within you will shine farther than ever before. You are not merely called to survive. You are called to overcome, not through brute force, but through perseverance, quiet strength, and absolute trust in me. My beloved child, I want to lift the veil so you may see a deeper truth in the midst of all these movements. There is a lasting protection covering you, an unshakable guarding that surpasses every scheme of darkness. A shelter woven from the love I placed on you before you ever saw the light of this world. Nothing touches your life outside the presence of the divine shield I have raised around you. This truth will become the strength that enables you to stand firm, even when the unseen winds grow stronger. You do not walk through the battle as someone who has no one beside them. You walk as one covered by my powerful hand and my unfailing kindness. I know that at times, when waves of invisible testing strike, you feel exposed like no one understands the storm in your heart. There are days when your mind grows tired for no clear reason, when your heart grows heavy with a vague weight you cannot explain. But my child, hear me in those very moments. Heaven is working most powerfully to protect your soul. There are confrontations unfolding in unseen places where I command angels to take their positions, where the weapons of darkness are broken before they come near. You do not see these things, but that does not mean they are not happening, precisely because you cannot see them. You must know this. I protect you not based on your feelings, but on the covenant I have made with your soul. Imagine a child standing at the edge of a cliff, unaware that a single wrong step could lead to a fall into utter darkness. Yet the child never falls, because a strong hand steadies their shoulder even when they do not realize it. So it is with you. There are situations you believed you escaped through your own strength, but in truth it was I who stood behind every step, keeping you from harm you never knew was near. There are words that appeared harmless but were stopped before they could wound you. There are heavy confusions I swept away before they could imprison your spirit. There are schemes formed in shadows that I dismantled even before they took shape. My beloved child, my protection is not like the thick walls you see in the world. It is like a stream of light wrapping around your soul, making it impossible for darkness to touch the core of who you are. Your body may grow weary, but your soul remains safeguarded. Your thoughts may be attacked, but your roots remain unshaken. For I have planted within you a portion of light that cannot be extinguished. My very imprint and darkness cannot touch what bears my mark. This is not comfort by words. This is truth engraved into the foundation of the spiritual realm. In the days when subtle trials grow stronger, I want you to remember this. Every attack is limited by the boundary I have set. No force in darkness can cross that line, even if they plot, even if they attempt to slip through, even if they release breaths of doubt or fatigue into the atmosphere. They must always stop at the border I have established. A drop of water cannot spill beyond its rim. A gust of wind cannot topple a mountain. A lie cannot destroy a soul rooted in my truth. Do not think that you are attacked less because you are strong. In fact, the souls I lift higher are always refined, not to break you, but to help you recognize that true strength does not come from yourself. It comes from the presence I have placed over your life. That strength is not loud. It is quiet, like roots gripping deep into the earth, like embers glowing beneath hot coals, like underground streams flowing beneath the desert. And it is precisely this quietness that darkness cannot grasp. An enemy cannot destroy what it does not understand. In the unseen realm, warriors of light are constantly fighting on your behalf. They are not mythical figures of old tales, but beings of glory tasked with protecting the integrity of your soul. When you pray, whether with words, with thoughts, or with a weary sigh, they receive the command to advance. When you choose truth, even when it is difficult, they grow stronger. When you reject even the smallest lie, they gain the ground needed to push back the darkness. They do not fight so you may do nothing. They fight with you so you may grow strong in the knowledge of my power. Do not think that your standing firm is a small matter. Every time you maintain peace in a situation full of pressure, the heavens tremble. Every time you refuse fear, even while your heart still shakes, the light in you grows. Every time you choose trust, when every visible circumstance rises against you, my power is released into territories darkness thought it owned. You may not see the outcome right away, but in the unseen realm, these choices create waves far beyond your understanding. I want you to enter this season with a deep awareness that you never battle alone. I do not lead you into testing and then abandon you. I do not face the darkness and then expect you to fend for yourself. I do not take you through difficult moments only to watch from far away. I am right there in your breath, in your thoughts, in every step you take. I do not merely watch you, I cover you. I do not merely hear you, I walk with you. I do not merely speak to you, I fight for you. When you feel most alone, that is when my presence is closest. When you feel most exhausted, that is when the wings of heaven shelter you most powerfully. When you feel weakest, that is when my strength flows into you most clearly. Your weakness does not repel me, it draws me nearer. And this is what I want you to engrave upon your soul as a seal. No force in darkness can touch what I have destined for you. No lie can destroy a future I have established. No attack can break a soul that has placed itself in my love. You are protected by a radiance that cannot be measured. You are held by a hand that cannot be shaken. You are guided by the one who has never broken his faithfulness. And what I began in you, no power can stop. My beloved child, I am not preparing you merely to survive. I am preparing you to step into your true position, the position I wrote for you in the first pages of your destiny. This is the time for you to realize that you are no longer just an observer of the battle or a passive sufferer of attacks. You are called to be a catalyst, one who shakes the darkness simply by your presence. Rising does not begin with thunder or flashes of light. It begins the moment your soul recognizes its true worth in my eyes. When you understand that you were not born to live in doubt, not to be led by lies, not to walk under the weight of the unseen, but to carry light to reflect what I placed within you, that is when the rising begins. Not from the outside, but from within. Rising begins as a small ember burning quietly in your heart. But once you respond, it becomes a flame no force can extinguish. Remember, I never call a soul to rise without first placing within them what they need. I have sown in you perseverance, compassion, sensitivity, endurance, and spiritual depth through all the years of your life. Not one season was wasted. Not one tear you shed was meaningless. Not one day you felt too small was unused in shaping your soul into the form I envisioned. Now, as you step into your season of rising, these things will emerge like treasures that have long waited to be revealed. The rising is not rebellion, it is your return to your rightful place, the place of one who was created to carry spiritual influence. The world uses force to impose, but I use your presence to transform. Darkness uses fear to bind, but I use my word to liberate. And I have placed you in the flow of my movement not to be swept away by the storms outside, but to become the one who carries the wind of freedom, peace, and truth. My child, spiritual authority does not come from external achievements. It comes from complete surrender. A soul that knows how to bow before me will stand firmer than any who rely arrogantly on their own strength. When you choose to listen to me instead of listening to fear, authority is released. When you choose to stand in truth, even if it means standing alone, authority is strengthened. When you choose forgiveness over anger, love over resentment, endurance over retreat, every such decision shapes an authority that cannot be bought, borrowed, or imitated. I do not give authority to unstable hearts. I give it to those who know how to be still before heaven and let me lead each step. You have walked through such seasons, and it is precisely those seasons that have made you someone I can trust. Your steadiness does not come from favorable conditions. It comes from the moments you chose to believe me, even when you saw no path ahead. I remembered every one of those moments. I carved them into the foundation of the authority I am now placing in your hands. My beloved, your rising will not look like a spectacle. It will resemble dawn. No one hears the sun rising, yet all can see its light spreading. Likewise, when you step into spiritual authority, there need be no trumpets, no grand announcements. Simply by standing in this new confidence, the confidence that comes from belonging to me, the light will begin to expand. Others will notice it even before you do. You will see that the things that once unsettled you now fall from you like dust on your garment. You will see your words carry new weight. You will see your counsel become sharper, gentle, yet full of authority. You will see your presence shift the atmosphere not because of you, but because I am in you. When I lift you higher, darkness will notice first. It will watch every movement, every thought, every decision you make. But do not fear. Its attention only reveals that the light in you has begun to burn brighter. A person who carries authority is not one who never faces trials. It is one who knows that no trial is greater than the one who walks beside them. A person with authority is not one who feels no weakness. It is one who knows true strength comes not from themselves but from my nearness. A person with authority is not one who stands in a crowd shouting. It is one who can stand alone in silence and still hold an unshakable peace. Your rising will open the way for many others. When one person awakens, that awakening spreads like ripples across water. Weary souls will look to you and find hope. Those who are lost will see you and recognize their way home. Those surrounded by darkness will feel comfort simply through your presence. You do not rise to prove anything. You rise to become the first glimmer of dawn for those still trapped in the night. I chose you for this not because you are perfect, but because you are willing. And willingness is more precious than any worldly ability. So stand tall in the light I have placed upon you. Walk with peace as your cloak, discernment as your weapon, and trust as the anchor of your soul. You are entering a season of rising not by your push, but by my appointed time, my beloved child. Many speak of spiritual strength, but only those whom I have trained through seasons of silence, moments of testing, and steps of inner growth truly understand what authority means. It is not a dazzling crown displayed before the world. It is a hidden light within the soul, quiet yet strong enough to make darkness retreat. Let me show you what human minds fail to grasp. Spiritual authority is not something you strive to achieve. It is something I grant when you draw closer to me. A soul connected to the source of life naturally carries the imprint of that source. Just as a lamp connected firmly to its power never dims, so your soul, when it abides in me, radiates a light darkness cannot cover. Authority does not come from what you display. It comes from the one to whom you belong. When you walk in that belonging, every space you enter shifts without you needing to force anything. Authority is not for confrontation but for liberation. Not for competition but for protection. Not for proving but for healing. A soul that carries spiritual authority does not enter dark places with noise. It enters as one who carries the fragrance of life, and darkness withdraws. You do not need to exert effort to chase away what does not belong to the light. Your presence, when deeply rooted in me, will do that. Authority is not an action. It is the state of a soul placed rightly. I know there are moments when you believe you are not strong enough to bear the weight of your calling. When doubt tries to convince you that such authority is meant for someone else. But hear me, no one rises to the high places of purpose without first walking through the low places of preparation. No one carries great light without first enduring the night of testing. No one is entrusted with power without first learning humility. And you, yes, you have walked these seasons more faithfully than you realize. You have stood in winds others never saw. You have held peace in your heart even when nothing around you felt peaceful. You have walked through journeys many will never know. And it is these very things that make you someone I can trust with authority. Your authority does not lie in loud words, but in deep trust. When you speak with faith, your words carry the weight of heaven. When you stand in discernment, you become a witness to truth. When you walk in peace, You resist an entire atmosphere of turmoil without uttering a single declaration. I have built in you the capacity to influence what is unseen, things no one observes yet which shape the visible world in ways others are waiting for. My beloved, spiritual authority never comes from force. It comes from the harmony between your soul and the rhythm of heaven. When you perceive what I am doing, when you align with that movement, when you speak only what I breathe into you, authority flows effortlessly. It is like music from an instrument perfectly tuned, no strain. Just a touch, and the sound fills the room. Remember those moments when you spoke a simple, gentle word and the atmosphere changed. That is authority. When you prayed a quiet prayer without embellishment, yet with sincerity and full trust, that is authority. When you stood still in peace while the noise of worry tried to roar around you, that is authority. Authority is not noise. It is the weight of my presence resting upon you. The things that once frightened you will no longer have a voice over you. The situations that once left you confused will now become clear. The pressures that once made it hard to breathe will no longer have the power to choke your soul. You will begin to notice that you respond differently to things that used to weaken you, not because you have become numb, but because your soul is now set upon a new foundation, a foundation of certainty built by me. I will let you recognize this gradually. So, the transformation within you does not overwhelm you, but becomes as natural as breath. You will begin to understand when to speak and when to be silent, when to pause and when to move forward, when to be gentle and when to stand firm. This is something I teach only to the souls I intend to use in leadership. One who does not understand timing cannot carry authority. One who does not know how to listen cannot stand in influence. My child, I chose you not only so you could be protected, but so you could become a protector. Not only so you would stand firm, but so you could become a pillar for others. Not only so you would know the way, but so you could lead the way. Your rising is not a solitary journey. It is an invitation to step into the place of one who influences, one who carries light, one who keeps rhythm for the trembling souls searching for hope. Look at the change within you these days, the deeper peace, the sharper discernment, the gentleness that flows with quiet strength. These are the signs that I am expanding authority within you. You do not need to try to be strong. You only need to remain in me. Every strength you require will flow from that place. My beloved child, when spiritual authority begins to operate within your soul, you will sense a shift not only within yourself, but within the spiritual atmosphere around you. Every step you take, every word you speak, every thought I breathe into your heart will create invisible currents that affect more than your natural eyes can perceive. Authority is not like a lamp you hold in your hand. It is like the light you carry in your very being. When that light touches any space, it reshapes that place according to the order of heaven. This is what I long to expand within you. You were created to bring the influence of the upper realm into the world. Understand this: the operation of spiritual authority is not something you activate once and forget. It breathes through every choice you make, every posture of your heart, every reaction you offer to life. When you choose truth instead of fear, authority flows from you like a stream of light, piercing through spaces that were once covered in fog. When you refrain from complaining and remain in peace, you lighten the heavy atmosphere around you, as though you have opened a window for heaven's breeze to enter. When you forgive, even silently, you sever chains unseen by human eyes but clearly recognized in the heavens. These small decisions carry great power because they arise from a soul that knows where it belongs. I want you to understand this deeply. A person entrusted with authority does not need to display or prove anything. You are not called to strain to appear strong. You are called to live with a peace so deep no one can doubt the one who dwells within you. A person with true authority does not need to raise their voice, for the world recognizes certainty in their eyes before they speak a single word. This is how I am shaping you not to become one who commands by force, but one who shapes atmospheres with a presence refined in me. Authority operates most powerfully through inner stillness. When your heart is steady, every attack becomes nothing more than a faint knocking outside a locked door. When your heart carries discernment, every lie loses its ability to cling. When your heart rests in me, no turbulence can shift you from your place. This stability, this peace as solid as stone, is what darkness cannot endure. It can endure noise, but not the stillness that comes from light. It can tolerate those who shout without certainty, but it trembles before the one who stands silent, yet full of authority. You are the one I am leading into this powerful stillness. Spiritual authority is not only for you to stand firm, it is for you to walk alongside weary souls. Some will come near you without knowing why they feel peace in your presence. Some will seek you to share things they cannot say to anyone else. Some will look at you and feel hope awaken. This is not because you are extraordinary by worldly standards, but because I am using you as a vessel to transmit the comfort of heaven. You do not need to strive to heal. You only need to let me flow through you. When you stand in the light, that light will move into every soul you touch. Without you forcing anything in the ways of the world, you will notice something essential. External pressure will no longer invade the inner space of your being. In the past, one careless word could shake you. One disappointment could discourage you. One delay could make you doubt yourself. But now you will sense your spirit standing upon a deeper, firmer foundation. Circumstances around you remain. The world does not change simply because you do, but their influence upon you will be transformed. You will feel a clear separation, your spirit standing above, while worries, fears, and pressures lie below. And though they may stretch upward, they cannot reach the level where you are placed. I have seen this shift within you, and I rejoice because you have begun to understand what many live a lifetime without realizing. Authority is not the power to control circumstances, it is the power to remain unmoved by them. This has always been the secret of those I have used throughout the ages, not that they were better or stronger than others, but that they allowed me to be the single source of stability in their lives. Within the operation of authority, there is yet another profound truth I want you to recognize when you speak words born from a heart I have refined. Those words carry life. Some of your words will give strength to a soul collapsing under weariness. Some of your words will open a way of escape for those trapped in darkness. Some of your words will lay a new foundation for those searching for direction. What I have placed within you holds power that surpasses the limits of intellect and emotion. The truth flowing from you is not merely speech, it is a stream of life. Your words will become like seeds that sprout without your knowing. You only need to speak under my guidance. I will take care of the rest. Do not fear saying the wrong thing. I will align your heart before I align your words. When you stay connected to me, your words will always find their proper direction. My beloved, the operation of spiritual authority is not a destination, it is a journey. Each day you live in me, that authority grows. Each time you listen to me, it expands. Each time you walk in truth, it strengthens. And when you are faithful with what is small, I will entrust you with what is greater. You are walking a path many souls long for, the path of true maturity, true depth, and true rising. Do not fear your own light. I placed it in you to illuminate the way, not for you to hide it. You were created to shine, not in a boastful way, but in a way that makes darkness recognize it no longer has a place. Now that spiritual authority has been established and awakened in you, you are stepping into a new threshold, a threshold of transition, where the old things quietly close and the things I have prepared for a long time begin to unfold. In the heavens, there are moments when I shift spiritual dimensions in ways human eyes could never perceive. But those who have ears to hear and hearts to sense, like you, will know exactly when that moment arrives. It does not come with storms or noise. It comes like the gentle breath of a changing season, like the pale light of dawn filtering through clouds, like the subtle stirring in your spirit whispering, "Something is changing." You are not imagining it. You are sensing the shift I am ushering you into. A spiritual transition is not merely a shift of emotion. It is a complete repositioning of the soul where I draw you out of old positions, old perspectives, old patterns, and place you where you are aligned with the mission you are about to enter. In the past season, I taught you how to stand firm, how to discern, how to endure, how to recognize darkness and light, how to listen, how to keep your peace in pressure. But in the new season, I will teach you how to advance, how to follow the flow of divine intention, and how to place each step into the precise pattern that heaven has written for you. This is not a season of waiting. It is a season of movement with purpose, rhythm, guidance, and a clear direction. Like water released after long confinement, your soul will begin to flow along the path I prepared long before. I do not want you to walk in confusion. I want you to sense that every step you take is part of something greater that I am doing. My child, I know there were times you felt trapped in a chapter that never changed, as though everything repeated itself, as though your life followed a cycle with no exit. But the truth is, during that time, I was not allowing you to stagnate. I was perfecting the foundation within you. You may not have noticed the daily changes, but I was engraving into your soul the qualities required for the new season: steadfastness, purity of heart, endurance, powerful stillness, and the ability to hear my voice more clearly than before. Not every day appeared to hold progress, but I worked every day. And because that work is now complete, you are deep enough, strong enough, and steady enough to enter what comes next. Imagine a great tree standing in an open field. For years, people only see the trunk above the ground and assume nothing has changed. Yet beneath the surface, its roots have reached far, pushing through layers of soil, anchoring deeper. When the wind shifts to a new season, the tree does not fear because it knows it is ready. You are that tree. The quiet years have stretched your roots downward, deeper, stronger, firmer. And now, as the season changes, you will not be blown away. You will stand tall, because you know where you belong. My child, a change of season does not only alter your surroundings, it changes the way you see life itself. What once confused you will become clear. What once drained you will no longer have the same power. What once weighed you down will no longer find a place to cling. You will feel a lightness in your soul, as if someone has lifted a burden from your shoulders that you did not know you were carrying. That lightness does not come from circumstance. It comes from the repositioning I am doing within you. When I change a person's season, I never do it randomly. I shift the season because you have completed a cycle of growth. I shift it because you have proven your faithfulness. I shift it because you stood firm in places where many others would have fallen. And I shift it because you have become someone capable of carrying more. In the new season, you will recognize expansions you never imagined. I will bring new relationships, not to fill emotional gaps, but to connect you with souls who will walk with you on purpose. I will open doors you once believed were closed forever. I will reroute paths you thought were dead ends. I will lift you into places you never dared to dream of, not to make you visible, but to allow my light within you to reach farther. You will find yourself stepping out of old patterns not because you despise them, but because they no longer fit the soul you have become. A transition of season always carries changes in priorities, in thinking, in desire. You will long for things that carry weight. You will withdraw from things that are shallow. You will crave purpose more clearly than before. You are not changing into someone else. You are becoming who you truly are, the one I wrote into my design from the beginning. I want you to enter this new season with peace. Do not fear what you do not yet know. Do not look at the new season as a challenge, but as an invitation. I did not bring you here to worry. I brought you here to receive the abundance I have long stored for you. Everything in your life since childhood, every joy, every wound, every victory, every disappointment has led to this moment. The moment when I declare to you, a new page is opening. My beloved child, now I want to lead you deeper into the process of repositioning something only souls who have walked through silent maturation can fully understand. Repositioning is not merely a shift in circumstances or a change of external placement. It is the movement of your entire inner being into a higher plane, where your mind, emotions, discernment, and purpose are rearranged according to the wisdom of heaven. In this season, I am not only guiding you into a new place, I am reshaping the way you perceive life, the way you make decisions, the way you walk through each day, and the way you respond to the unseen movements around you. Everything within you is being pulled back into its rightful alignment. The way stars shift into their ordained orbits to form a new constellation in the heavens. Repositioning within the soul is like the moment a compass is corrected to true north. In the past, when you were surrounded by tangled emotions, complicated relationships, and heavy pressures, you felt lost, as if you were walking down the wrong path or standing in the wrong place. But the truth is, I never left you. During that entire time, I was quietly drawing you back to the axis of divine intention so that when the new season opened, you would step directly into the precise position designed for you. A soul that is not aligned cannot see clearly what I am ready to reveal. But when you are placed exactly where you belong, everything that approaches you becomes meaningful and no longer vague or confusing. In this phase, you will begin to notice a very subtle yet profound change in how you perceive the world. Things that used to weigh heavily on your heart will begin to lose their power. Words that once shook you now feel as light as a passing breeze. Thoughts that once held you back no longer have a foothold in your mind. You will feel as though you have been lifted from a low, clouded layer and set upon a higher place, where you see everything clearly without the fog of former days. This is a part of repositioning, a change in your spiritual altitude. Not in the sense of pride, but in the sense of being drawn closer to the wisdom of heaven. Repositioning is not always comfortable. Sometimes it requires you to leave what is familiar, to walk away from relationships you once considered safe, to release habits that used to give you a sense of belonging. You may feel like someone stepping onto a ship, leaving the harbor, knowing the open sea awaits and that you cannot return to the old shore. But this is the essence of a seasonal shift, not to make you repeat what has already passed, but to take you further into what has been prepared for you. What you release is not loss. It is clearing space so you may receive what is new. My child, repositioning always precedes increase. No one can hold what is new while clinging to what is old. When I prepare to expand the influence of a soul, I first lead them into adjustment, not to punish, but to open the way. I cause them to let go of old fears so they may step into new strength. I move them out of environments that no longer fit them and place them into grounds where they can bear fruit. I free them from invisible burdens, unnecessary guilt, responsibilities that were never theirs, the pressure to please others so that they can operate in the freedom of the light. You were not created to carry weights that do not belong to you. You were created to walk lightly in the purpose I designed. You will meet new people not by coincidence, but by divine arrangement. You will stand before doors that once refused to open, not because you were weak, but because the time had not yet come. You will see opportunities that once seemed distant now appearing right before you, as if the heavens shifted an entire constellation to bring them into your path. These are not accidents. They are confirmations that your new season is unfolding beneath your feet. I want you to step into this repositioning with peace. Do not cling to what I am removing. Do not force yourself to remain in places I have closed. Resistance only brings unnecessary pain. But when you agree with my movement, everything becomes lighter. I never shift a season to break you. I shift it to make you bloom. You will also feel a significant change in how I speak to you. No longer the distant whispers you once strained to hear. You will sense my voice as though it rests against the ear of your soul. When I bring you into a new position, I also tune the frequency of our communication so that you can receive each instruction clearly. You will begin to recognize small signs in your life as unmistakable directives, no longer second-guessing or doubting as before. That discernment is one of the gifts given to a soul that has been repositioned. Remember this when I place you in the new position. You will feel an effortless sense of belonging. No strain, no pretending, no forcing. Everything within you will fit as naturally as a key clicking into a lock designed solely for it. This is the sign that you are standing exactly where I intend. You will feel your inner being expand, as if there is suddenly more space inside you to breathe. You will see farther without feeling tired. You will feel as though you are living in the right rhythm, where everything flows with a precision that does not miss a single beat. I am leading you through a delicate yet glorious journey. This repositioning is not only for now, it is preparation for the greater things ahead. Open your heart and let me continue guiding you. You are not walking alone. You are walking with the one who knows every step you will take before your feet touch the ground. My beloved child, you are not only stepping into a new season, you are merging into the rhythm of divine intention. There is a great difference between entering a new phase and entering the flow of what I am doing. A new phase changes circumstances, but when you move in harmony with the divine current, everything in you, your thoughts, emotions, pace, purpose, aligns with my movements. You no longer need to strive to find direction, nor push yourself to maintain momentum, nor struggle to understand what is happening. Everything becomes as natural as breath because your soul has been tuned to the holy frequency. The rhythm of heaven is not like the rhythm of the world. The world moves by striving, comparison, competition, and restless effort to secure a place. But heaven's rhythm operates through trust, through strong stillness, through responding at the appointed moment, through connection to the unseen. Heaven's rhythm does not rush you, it teaches you patience. It does not pressure you for immediate answers, it teaches you to listen. It does not urge you to follow others, it teaches you to follow me. When you merge with this rhythm, you are no longer dragged by the noise of the world or the urgency of others. You walk in a gentle yet powerful current, the current of guidance from above. I have seen the change within you as you allowed me to reset the pace of your inner life. You no longer react from impulse as before. You have learned to listen before responding, to observe before acting, to hold your peace before deciding. These seemingly simple things are the very foundation that allows you to harmonize with divine intention. A soul in haste cannot hear heaven's rhythm. A heart running after pressure cannot recognize subtle signs from the light. You have left that stage behind. Now your soul is like a calm lake, no longer stirred by the winds of fear or the storms of anxiety, able to reflect clearly the light I am pouring upon you. My child, in the rhythm of heaven into which you are now stepping, you will begin to notice a wondrous harmony between what I am doing within you and what I am arranging around you. Everything will seem perfectly orchestrated not by luck, but by the subtle intervention of the heavens. You will realize that encounters which appear accidental are in fact links in a plan written long ago. Opportunities will appear at the exact moment you need them. Doors will open at the precise time they should. And turning points that seem unpredictable will reveal themselves as things I prepared even before you knew to desire them. This harmony is not a miracle. It is the sign that you are living within the orbit of divine intention. When you are outside the rhythm of heaven, you feel the need to control every detail, afraid that if you release your grip, everything will collapse. But when you are within the flow, you will understand that it is not you who keeps all things together. It is I who keep you. And in that understanding, you will walk in a freedom you have never known before. Not the freedom of indifference, but the freedom of one who knows they are not governed by circumstances, but led by the one who governs all circumstances. The rhythm of heaven always carries lightness, not lightness in the sense of lacking challenges, but lightness in the sense of lacking burden. You will walk through difficult situations without being drained. You will move through great changes without losing direction. You will face complex matters while maintaining inner calm. This is the clearest sign that you are aligned with divine intention. You are not pulled off course, not entangled in the trivial, not confused by voices that call you off the path. Things you once considered insignificant will become foundational stones for your growth. Moments you thought were ordinary will carry deep reminders from above. Simple conversations will hold within them subtle instructions needed for the journey ahead. This is how I speak when you are moving in. My rhythm, I do not need to repeat myself or shout. I only need you to be peaceful enough to notice. When you live in the rhythm of heaven, you become influential without effort. You do not need to prove anything. You do not need to seek attention. You do not need to try to be important. The world will recognize the difference in you, the way one notices the gentle fragrance of a flower that never tries to draw attention to itself. Those who come near you will feel the stability that your soul carries. They will come to you, seeking the peace within you, the discernment you walk in, the calm that surrounds your steps. You will not need to preach or persuade. Your life, how you walk, how you respond, how you remain gentle in chaos, will speak on your behalf. Do not be surprised if people begin to approach you with questions you did not know you had the ability to answer. It is not because you are wise in the ways of the world, but because you are connected to a source of wisdom that surpasses your own understanding. When I flow through you, your words become light. When I enlarge your awareness, you become a guide for those who are lost. When I place peace within you, you become a resting place for weary souls. And here is what I want you to remember. Harmony with heaven's rhythm is not meant to make you withdraw from the world, but to enable you to walk into it without belonging to it. You are called to carry the breath of heaven into places lacking hope. You are called to bring peace into chaos. You are called to bring life into places that have grown dry. You are not escaping the world. You are stepping into it as one who carries the cadence of the light. Rest in this affirmation. You have aligned yourself with my rhythm, and you will see the fruit of that alignment in every step you take. The new season is no longer just a promise. It is becoming your reality. Keep your heart open so I may continue leading you into deeper things. My beloved child, now I begin unveiling before you a greater chapter, the chapter of expansion. This expansion is not merely an increase in understanding or emotion, it is an enlargement of influence, of responsibility, of spiritual capacity, of your ability to carry light into places you once never imagined. Your new season is not one where you remain still to admire. It is one where you step into a larger space and become someone who represents the imprint of heaven in a clearer, more radiant way. Expansion does not occur in a soul consumed by fear. It comes when the soul has matured enough to carry what I entrust without losing itself. You have not arrived here by accident. The trials you have endured, the valleys that once frightened you, the burdens you thought would break you, all of these were preparation for the expansion you are about to enter. I have refined you like metal through fire, like a seed waiting for the appointed season to break forth, like a river held back for a time so that when the gate opens, it will rush forward unhindered. This expansion is not only about you, it is about those who will be touched through you. When I enlarge a soul, I do not do it merely for that one person. I do it for the many others who need the strength, the peace, the wisdom that I have placed within them. You do not know how many are searching for the light you carry. You do not know how many weary hearts will be revived through a word, a presence, a gesture that flows from you. Your expansion is my answer to countless silent cries rising from many places. But expansion always comes with an increase in spiritual responsibility. Not responsibility as a burden, but as a profound awareness that you are carrying something greater than yourself. When you step into a season of expansion, you will feel the calling within you more clearly, a calling that will not allow you to live carelessly, that will not allow you to waste time, that will not allow you to collapse under trivial matters. The weight of honor I place upon you will make you more intentional about your path, not in heaviness, but in a dignity acknowledged by heaven. I have prepared you for this for a long time. There were days when you thought you were simply trying to survive the storm, but in truth I was strengthening your feet so you could step into the wide land without trembling. There were seasons when you believed you were wandering in a wilderness, but I was teaching you how to hear my voice in the silence. There were nights when you thought you were breaking from exhaustion, but it was in those very nights that I was enlarging the capacity of your soul so it could hold more. Expansion does not happen when you are full, it happens when you are lacking. It does not happen when you feel strong, it happens when you learn to draw from my strength that never runs out. My child, when I expand you, I bring you into spaces where your presence will bring transformation. You do not need to strive to be important. Simply walk in with the peace I have taught you to guard. And everywhere your footsteps land will be changed. Your expansion is not about display, it is about diffusion. It is like the way light spreads across the sea at dawn. No one hears the sun rise. But when its light touches the earth, everything awakens. In this season of expansion, you will no longer have to maneuver the way you once did. The things you once struggled to reach through your own strength will begin to happen more gently. Opportunities that once felt out of reach will come nearer. Areas that were closed off will open as if pushed by an invisible hand. This is not because you have become stronger, but because I have placed you in the right position at the right moment. Timing is part of expansion. Not everything that comes early is good, and not everything that comes late is bad. When I expand you, everything aligns with the calendar of heaven. I want you to step into this expansion not with worry, but with confidence that comes from knowing where you belong. You do not enter this season as someone testing their luck. You enter as one who has been chosen, prepared, and readied. Expansion does not make you into someone else. It makes you into a deeper, fuller, stronger version of who you already are. It aligns you with the mission for which you were originally created. True expansion happens within before it manifests outwardly. Inside you, a new confidence will emerge, not confidence in your own abilities, but confidence in the divine origin of your calling. Within you, discernment will sharpen not to judge, but to know the pathway I lead you on. Within you, a greater flame will rise, not a flame of temporary excitement, but a steady, enduring fire that does not extinguish in adversity. When your inner life expands, the outer expression is simply the natural consequence. You will no longer react as you once did. Words that used to wound will no longer touch the depths of your soul. The turmoil of others will no longer knock you off balance. Unexpected events will no longer shake you with fear. You are becoming one who keeps the rhythm, not the rhythm of the world, but the rhythm of heaven. This expansion will appear before you like a vast open field where you are free to walk without the boundaries of old patterns. You are stepping into the land I promised, not a geographical land, but the land of intention. Walk boldly, for I go before you, clearing your path, strengthening each step, and preparing things far beyond what you have imagined. Child, when expansion has begun to stir within your soul and the greater picture unfolds like petals opening beneath the morning light, I will lead you deeper into the stage of expansion in action. This is no longer the time for you to merely sense, predict, or ponder what I am preparing. This is the time for you to step, to receive, to stand in the places I arranged even before you felt the invitation. Expansion does not come only through internal change. It requires your response for it to become a reality on the earth. Expansion does not arrive through noise. It arrives through deliberate steps. You will begin to see doors opening in ways that seem small but hold great significance. An unexpected invitation, a meeting that stirs something deep within your spirit, an opportunity you did not seek but that aligns perfectly with what I have poured into you over the years. These signs are reminders that you are moving in the right direction. I do not want you to rush toward everything. I want you to follow the subtle signals I place along your path. True expansion does not require you to run, it requires you to perceive. My beloved, I want you to be prepared to step into realms you once never imagined you could stand in, not because you lacked ability, but because the time had not yet come. In the previous season, I planted many things within you: gentleness of spirit, depth of reflection, endurance in trial, resilience in dark days, sharp discernment in my words, and now these things will find their place to emerge. I will bring you into spaces where your soul will become the answer to a need rising quietly among many. Someone needs the peace you carry. Someone needs the clarity you have learned. Someone needs the steadiness you gained through painful seasons. You do not step into new realms to find a position. You step in to release what I have built within you. Child, there are 3 great realms I will begin to open before you: the realm of influence, the realm of connection, and the realm of spiritual impact. In the realm of influence, you will recognize that your words carry greater weight, not weight that burdens, but weight that travels farther. The things you speak from discernment and peace will begin to touch more people than you expect. Words of advice that seem simple will become keys that open an exit for someone. Gentle encouragement you share will become the healing balm someone has longed for. You do not need to stand on a grand platform to influence. I will use the quiet rhythm of your life as clear water permeating the dry places. In the realm of connection, I will bring the people I have prepared beforehand, those who will strengthen your calling, those who will help you recognize your true stature, those who will walk with you into greater assignments. Not everyone who comes to you is meant for you, and not everyone who leaves you is a loss. But those I bring in this season each hold a role in the expansion you are entering. Some will become companions, some will become reminders, some will become those you will teach, and some will help you see what I am doing through you. In the realm of spiritual impact, you will notice that your prayers carry greater force. Your declarations become sharper, and your very presence becomes a place of peace where others recover without needing many words. You will begin to sense invisible movements with greater clarity, and I will teach you how to partner with heaven in each moment, not in displays of power, but in quiet certainty, like light pushing back darkness without making a sound. My child, expansion in action will also bring a shift in how you manage your time. Meaningless things will naturally fall away from your life. Conversations that do not nourish your soul will lose their appeal. Activities that once brought fleeting joy will give way to things with deeper purpose. You will feel drawn to matters of spiritual weight not because you are trying to be better, but because your soul has now aligned with its true direction. When the soul is placed correctly, every choice becomes clearer, and you will know what belongs to you and what does not. Beloved one, each day you will find yourself stepping a little farther, standing a little stronger, seeing a little clearer, and one day you will look back and realize you have entered a space far larger than where you once stood, yet you will not feel overwhelmed. Because I have prepared you for it with every step and every breath. You will no longer see life through a narrow lens. You will see the depth of each event, the breadth of each relationship, the height of each opportunity. You will begin to see potential in others before they see it themselves. You will begin to recognize intersections that only those walking in the light can perceive. You will become someone who not only responds to life, but shapes the atmosphere around you. Remember, true expansion does not only change what you do, it changes who you become. And I am doing that work for you with tenderness and with power. Be ready. The actionable stage of expansion has begun. You are no longer standing at the shore. You are stepping into deeper waters where I go before you, hold you, and propel you into what surpasses your expectations. My beloved, I want to bring you into the deeper layer of expansion on a macro level, where what you do no longer impacts only your personal life, but touches larger currents in the spirit and in the lives of many. In this phase, expansion is no longer about you going further, it becomes you being woven into my larger design, like a spiritual thread carrying weight in the tapestry I am completing. This expansion is not a reward after trials, it is the confirmation that you are ready to carry influence on a broader scale. Some souls are expanded so they can heal, but you who have stood firm through refining seasons are expanded so you can become a catalyst. Someone who carries spiritual radiance into places untouched by light. When a soul rises to this depth, they do not merely transform themselves, they transform the atmosphere of those around them, awaken dormant hearts, and alter the trajectory of those I send to them. When I lift you higher, it does not distance you from people. It brings you closer to them, but closer with discernment, wisdom, and light. You are not placed in a higher position to look down. You are placed there to see farther, clearer, deeper, so you may guide those searching for a way through the dark. What you are becoming is not a symbol of superiority, but a pillar for trembling souls. You are like the first mountain peak to touch the morning light, so that from that peak the light may cascade downward into the valley. You are not the light itself, but you are the surface through which the light spreads wider. You will step into the operation of invisible influence, where what you do in silence creates powerful tremors in the spiritual realm. There will be things you do that no one sees, a prayer whispered in the late night, a silent forgiveness offered to someone who wounded you, a choice to follow truth instead of emotion, and each of these is like an arrow of light piercing the darkness. You will never know how many souls it touches, how many hearts it softens, how many chains it breaks. But I know, and I use your small hidden acts to plant great changes the world cannot measure. My child, in this season, I will also open for you the ability to affect places where your physical body is not present, yet your spirit is, through intercession, through discernment, through the light within you. You will begin to feel burdens that do not belong to your personal life, but to those I have placed within your orbit. Not all of them are yours to carry, but some of them I entrust to you, so you may learn how to partner with me in battlefields broader than your own. There will be mornings when I stir you awake for no apparent reason, simply so you can intercede for someone standing on the threshold of collapse. There will be moments when I place an unexplainable urging in your spirit to pray for someone you have never met. You will not know why, yet I know. And when you yield to that prompting, streams of light pierce the night sky like bridges through which I reach souls crying out in the dark. Child, you will also see that in the deeper layers of expansion, you will be invited into responsibilities you were once too immature to receive. I will position you in places you never expected, not to showcase your wisdom, but so my work may flow more freely through you. You will encounter people of greater influence, not so that you imitate them, but so you may bring the light I placed within you to touch their lives. You will stand in environments you once thought you did not belong to. Yet when you step in, the atmosphere will adjust itself to your presence, not the other way around. Beloved one, this deeper expansion does not create confusion. Instead, it makes your role clearer. You will no longer live as someone searching for a place, but as someone who knows exactly where they stand. You will no longer feel small. You will feel crafted for this very moment. This is when you will recognize that everything I have done for you, every gentle adjustment, and every overwhelming challenge has been preparation for today. The day when you no longer ask, "Who am I?" in the eyes of others, but know, I am one born to carry light into the territories where darkness has ruled for too long. My child, I want you to understand something few people ever truly grasp. True expansion does not exhaust you, it strengthens you. Exhaustion comes when you do what does not belong to you. But when you step into the role I designed for you, even greater responsibility feels light. For you are moving on purpose. That is why you will find yourself with strength you never knew you had, clarity that no human teacher gave you, and resilience untouched by fear. Beloved one, this is the moment you stand firm in expansion, not only as one who receives blessing, but as one who carries it. Not only as one who is filled, but as one who pours out. Not only as one rescued from storms, but as one who speaks peace into the storms of others. You are entering a season where your voice, your presence, your intercession, and your light will no longer influence only a small circle, but entire regions I have appointed. My beloved child, this is the time when everything I have planted in you begins to bloom. When past trials are no longer wounds but evidence of transformation, you stand at the doorway of a new life, a space where you will feel my presence, my guidance, and my movement through your choices, your breaths, and your steps more deeply than ever before. I have spent a long time shaping you, not so you might appear strong by earthly standards, but so you might become attuned to my rhythm. In this chapter, you will sense that alignment clearly. You will no longer have to strain to behave according to moral ideals. Your integrity will flow as a natural expression of my presence within you. You will not struggle to love. Love will flow from you like a stream that naturally pours from its source. You will not fight to believe. Your faith will become a steady inner flame that darkness cannot shake. These things do not come from your strength, but from having been soaked, shaped, and refined long enough that your soul now vibrates in harmony with mine, like two strings tuned into perfect resonance. In the former season, you wrestled often with what I asked of you. You felt confused, disappointed, even resistant. But now you will experience an inner softness, not the softness of weakness, but the softness of one who has learned to trust completely. You will no longer ask me, why, as often. Instead, you will ask, how can I follow you more faithfully? And that posture, my child, is the clearest sign that your soul has entered the realm of spiritual maturity I have long awaited. You will begin to see the threads connecting moments you once thought were random, the dark days, the seasons of endurance, the moments that felt pointless, the prayers prayed through tears. All of them will start aligning into a greater structure, like a mosaic where every fragment has a place and none are wasted. You will realize that I never left you in the darkness. I was guiding you through segments of the journey so your heart could be strengthened before seeing the full picture. This clarity will not make you proud, it will make you humble, because you will understand no human strength could orchestrate a life with such divine precision. My child, this is also the season of harvest, not the simple harvest of receiving what you have sown, but a spiritual harvest that transcends that ordinary rule. It is the harvest of stature, of perception, of inner authority, of a depth of peace untouched by the shifting winds of the world. You will feel your soul becoming wider, no longer immersed in trivial worries, no longer shaken by small events, no longer swayed by the noise around you. Instead, you will stand like a pillar, not rigid, but steady, not cold, but strong in peace. You will see yourself changing in the way you look at others. The things that once frustrated you will find no place to cling to. The things that once wounded you will no longer have the power to pierce your heart. For when your soul beats in harmony with me, you see the world through my eyes of compassion. You understand human frailty, the tenderness of every heart, and thus you learn to love without needing anything in return, to forgive without needing anyone to justify themselves. You do not do this because you are good, but because I am alive within you, and my love flows through you naturally. I want to lead you into new lands, not geographical lands, but lands of meaning and calling. You will stand in roles you never imagined you could carry. Yet once you stand in them, you will realize I have been preparing you for a long time. You will cross thresholds that once terrified you, but now your heart will be as calm as morning waters, not because you have become stronger, but because you have become aligned with me, and when you are united with me, everything becomes light. You will see my works no longer hidden in the chaos of life. You will recognize them as one recognizes the voice of a loved one in a crowd. The small movements within you, the gentle promptings, the quiet guidance, all of it will become familiar and unmistakable. You will no longer question whether it is your own emotion or my whisper. You will perceive the difference with ease. For union has become the rhythm of your life. My beloved child, I also want you to prepare for something important in this chapter. You will be expanded once more, not in width as before, but in depth. This depth means I will lead you into a level of intimacy with me that you have not known before. Not intimacy filled with tears of pleading, but intimacy born from rest, from absolute trust, from an awareness that I am so near you, no longer need to strive to find me, you only need to quiet your soul. And I am there. This is the time of fullness. Not fullness in the sense that everything becomes perfect according to your desire, but fullness in this truth: your soul lacks nothing in me. You will feel yourself filled not by what you receive, but by the one to whom you belong. This is the season when you realize that union with me is the greatest reward, greater than success, greater than praise, greater than any outcome you could achieve. Child, true union is not a motionless stillness. It is a rhythm, a flow in which your soul merges with my will, like a stream joining the great river. Union does not erase your personality, nor demand that you cease to be yourself. Instead, it completes you, making you the truest version of who you were meant to be, the version I envisioned from the beginning. In this union, you live from a new nature, not swung around by shifting emotions, but grounded in the deep center where my peace dwells. Union is not simply agreeing with what I speak, it is harmony at the deepest level. It is the moment when your desires no longer oppose the path I set before you. Instead, your heart inclines toward what I delight in, as a tree leans toward sunlight without instruction. When you step into this depth, you no longer toil against uncertainty. You begin to understand that everything I ask leads you into freedom, and everything I forbid shields you from unseen cliffs. In this stage, union is always refined through obedience without explanation. There will be things I place in your heart that you do not fully comprehend. There will be steps I ask you to take without showing you the destination. There will be moments I tell you to wait, even while you long to move. Yet in these very moments, the union is carved deeper. You do not obey because you know the outcome. You obey because you know the one leading you. And when you yield in trust, your soul is carried into a depth of peace no trial can break. In the depth of union, you will enter a new awareness, one that does not arise from intellect, but from the connection between your spirit and my spirit. You will begin to sense my movements without dramatic signs. You will understand my will without requiring a loud proclamation. I will plant holy intuitions within your soul, and they will become lamps guiding you through the darkness, not the darkness of fear, but the darkness of things not yet revealed. In those moments, union becomes the invisible compass that guides your every step. Your heart will become a living sanctuary, not one built of gold or precious stones, but one formed of stillness, trust, and presence. You will realize that there are times when you do not need to speak a word to sense me clearly. Simply sit, slow your breath, draw your mind away from the outside noise, and I am there, not coming from afar, not descending from high, but rising from within. Union erases the separation between I come to you and you come to me because I am in you, and you are in me. Child, a clear sign of deep union is when your heart becomes soft yet unbreakable, soft enough to love, to understand, to uplift, yet not fragile, to be wounded by trivial things, soft in listening, yet not swayed by words meant to unsettle, soft in responding to the Spirit, yet not carried away by fleeting emotions. Your soul becomes like fertile soil ready to receive every seed I sow, yet unmoved by wandering winds. In the depth of union, you will also enter a new vision. You will no longer see things through the eyes of fear. but through the eyes of one who knows they are surely held. You will no longer view challenges as threats, but as stones that build the foundation of your maturity. You will look at others not merely by what they show on the outside, but by the potential within them, the potential I have seen since the beginning. Union teaches you to see by light, not by shadows, by trust, not suspicion, by hope, not assumption. Deep union will also lead you into a new way of living, living from the inside out, not reacting to what happens outside and letting it dictate your inner world. When you live from within, changing circumstances no longer frighten you. You respond from a place of clarity, of calm, of knowing to whom you belong. You will recognize that life's turbulence no longer defines you. Instead, the union within you begins to influence your surroundings like a warm current spreading outward from a center, shaping the atmosphere around you. You become a bearer of my atmosphere, not an atmosphere of display, but of peace. People will feel relief near you without knowing why. They will feel safe sharing their hearts with you without fear of being judged. You do not need many words. Your presence itself becomes an invitation for them to draw nearer to the light. And for this reason, you must understand that union is not a benefit reserved only for you. It is the pathway through which I touch others. There is another thing I want you to prepare for. Deep union carries deep responsibility. Not heavy responsibility, but responsibility born of love. You will sense spiritual burdens that others do not feel. You will notice things others overlook. You will be called to stand in the gap for wandering souls. You will become a guardian of spiritual thresholds that many do not even know exist. But I do not give you this responsibility so you will strain beneath it. I give it so you may carry it with me, and when you carry with me, the burden becomes light. Deep union will also lead you into a different rhythm, the rhythm of wisdom. You will know when to speak and when to remain silent. You will know when to move and when to be still. You will know when to open your heart and when to guard it, not because of human cleverness, but because harmony with me will let you sense timing the way one senses the shift of seasons. My beloved child, what you are experiencing is not a fleeting moment, but a way of being, a transformation of your inner essence that no circumstance can reverse. If in the earlier parts I led you through training, expansion, and transformation, then now I want you to step into a realm where everything once planted has crystallized and become a stable life force within your soul. This is the stage where intimacy with me no longer rests on emotion, but on certainty, no longer depends on external signs, but on a quiet, immovable knowing. Every moment of my presence along your journey had purpose. No chapter of your life was wasted. No season was meaningless. Every event, every tear, every time you stood up again, every moment you chose light over darkness, all of it became enduring threads woven into your soul, forming a new structure that is stronger, brighter, and more holy. This is not perfection according to the standards of men, but maturity according to heaven, a maturity where the soul becomes discerning, resilient, and free. Perfect union does not merely make you strong, it makes you steady. Strength can rise and fall with emotion and circumstance, but steadiness comes from inner depth. No storm can uproot. When your soul stands in union with me, you become like a great tree with roots deep in fertile soil. The branches may sway, the leaves may fall, but the tree itself will never be uprooted. This is the steadfastness of one who knows where they belong, who keeps them, and whom they are following. When you live in my light, the things that were once blurry become clear. You begin to perceive the invisible currents, the quiet movements seen only by attentive souls. You sense gentle invitations within your spirit, knowing when I want you to pause, when I want you to take a step, when I want you to speak, and when I want you to remain still. This is the life I long for you, to enter a life guided by light, not pushed by fear or uncertainty. My child, another mark of deep union is a heart shaped after mine, not a heart filled with fear, but a heart made wide, a heart that knows compassion, that offers grace, that lifts others without being consumed by them. You will find yourself forgiving more quickly, loving more deeply, and seeing others with greater kindness, not because you strive to be good, but because my light fills you, leaving no room for small shadows to cling. In this union, you also enter a freedom the world cannot give. Freedom is not doing whatever you wish. Freedom is no longer being bound by what once controlled you, to your worries, your wounds, your assumptions, your unspoken fears. You will walk in a peace no trial can shatter, because that peace does not come from circumstances, but from me, the one who dwells within you as a never-ending spring. My beloved child, when you stand in complete union, I will open before you a new horizon, the horizon of commissioning. If the previous season was the time I prepared you, shaped you, strengthened you, then now is the moment I bring you into the role appointed for you before you were formed. You are not sent out as a mere warrior. You are sent as a lamp, as a flowing stream, as a gentle wind carrying the warmth of heaven. Your calling is not to wage constant battle, but to carry my atmosphere into places where dryness reigns, to bring peace where chaos has taken root, to bring truth where confusion has unfolded. Child, you will be astonished by the reach of your influence, not influence drenched in applause or brilliance, but a quiet and persistent influence, like morning dew seeping into the soil, like a stream threading its way through stone, like dawn slipping into a room without announcement. Union makes you a vessel of presence, and that presence is what many longing souls are searching for. This deep union makes you a carrier of things that belong to eternity, not merely beautiful words, but streams flowing from the heavenly realm, not fleeting ideas, but truths with eternal weight. You will realize that at times, a single sentence from you can unlock a heart, a single act of kindness can heal a memory, a single prayer can shift the circumstances of someone you have never met. Child, this is also the moment I want you to see something many do not dare to imagine. I desire to use you as a refined instrument for the healing of humanity, not by compulsion, but in the sense that you become a gentle reminder to wandering souls. You become one who rekindles hope in those whose spirits have dried out. You become one who whispers, by the life you carry, that there is another way, wider, brighter, and filled with peace, not through shouting, but through the quiet radiance flowing from your union with me. I want you to understand that this chapter of union has no ending. It is not the conclusion of a story, but the beginning of a new way of living. What you have experienced is only the opening of an eternal journey. When you turn to the next page after this chapter, what appears is not a finish line, but a frontier, a land not yet explored, where you and I will walk together, day by day, breath by breath. Union is not a destination. Union is a way of life. And within this way, you will know that you never walk alone. You will never face the darkness by your own strength. You will never carry your battles by yourself. For I, the one who has led you through every season, will continue to lead you through the ones ahead. with unchanging love and a promise that never fails. My beloved child, you have walked a long journey, you have passed through great trials, you have been expanded, refined, renewed, and united. And now you are placed into a life wholly rooted in the light, where I am the source of all you need. And you are the one who carries my breath into every place you set foot. Live in that fullness, my child, for I am with you now and forever. Thank you for listening to today's message. Remember to subscribe and turn on notifications so you may continue receiving the living word, building unshakable faith, and walking in the boundless love of God. Amen.